Ooh, hello and welcome to Dead Fast Ops. It's looking like we're fast forwarding through.
Oh, wow.
It's caught up with James. It hasn't caught up with me. Let me just add myself back in to try and get that.
I feel like that was a caching thing and it very quickly caught up the last 5 minutes because it's even had me going to get some water. My phone's also making noise.
Got Wale, got me, we got James. Okay, it looks like we're good. Sorry for that.
Technical problems.
I think it looks like we had a nice big cache kept up and it just streamed everything in 10x speed. But hello and welcome to Devcast Ops. You're joined this evening by myself, Barnaby, James, and Wale. You have the full trio this evening. We've all finally sunk our calendars back up and are available to stream on the same evening. And I think James is going to be leading this one, doing some Terraform provider stuff for Discord. I don't know if you want to elaborate a little before we get into the code.
Yeah. So was it 2 weeks ago-ish? Yeah. We started messing around setting up a Discord server, namely this Discord. Oh, no, I'm not streaming, am I?
Do you want me to push your screen live?
Yeah. I'll talk all day. So I have the stream live so I can see in a delay what's happening. So we set up this Discord server and we were trying to get it so the permissions would be set up in a specific way. But I think we believe the Discord provider, which I don't think has been touched in a good number of years, has the support for what we want to do. So we were chatting about other things we need to stream. So it's not just console every week. And we thought it would be quite a fun thing to do to make our own provider. Because it's certainly something I'm quite interested in. I made a provider a while ago and the way you make providers has changed. So I thought it'd be quite interesting to update my knowledge on how you make a new provider as well as mess around and show everyone else how to do it. Because I think it is... People are scared of programming. It's not as complicated as it seems.
Yeah, it's been something that I've been vaguely thinking, I should probably learn how to do that, but haven't spent the time to just sit down and do it because it's always been something else that popped up. But I get to learn on stream, which will be fun. You can see my entire lack of knowledge of this.
I hope it works. So it used to be there was a 3-page how-to guide on the HashiCorp website, which told you the blocks in the code you needed to write and an example provider you could copy. And you kind of trying to work out how it all works and stuff was quite complicated. Now they have made a nice template repository. So you can copy this, you can click use this template, copy it across, and it'll just work in your repo. Luckily, other than the fact I had some Windows issues, it did fully work for me. So I have done some very basic setup on this one because I wanted to make sure that it fully worked and it would connect to Discord, because certainly the hardest thing I've had to do with providers is getting the authentication to work, because luckily this time I have a client, but otherwise you'd have to build an entire Go client at the same time. So we have Discord Go, which is a Discord client we'll be using. It says there are some features that it doesn't support, but it says it's fairly well documented and is seems to be one of the more fully fledged Discord clients out there. So hopefully it can do everything we want. And all we're doing is kind of wrapping that with Terraform, which is probably worth saying at this point. Terraform doesn't do anything special. I think there's a lot of people that have an idea that Terraform manages infrastructure, which is obviously what they sell it at. But what Terraform does is Terraform runs APIs and Terraform stores a state. And those are the two things Terraform does. So as long as your application has a state and has APIs, you can manage it with Terraform. And that's not true, because technically Terraform can manage things other than APIs. I was looking at one point how you get Terraform to manage something through Telnet. It was not worth it. But technically, the Terraform Minecraft provider is a good one. It uses Archon to manage Terraform. It is not a good idea, but it works, sort of. So we have this Terraform provider. I have been explicitly told many times by Wale to step through everything I did to set it up and how it all works. Which
including what needs to be installed.
So things that need to be installed is Go. I'm using Go version 1.20.5. I have no idea what the current latest version of Go is. That's the one that was installed on my computer. I have Terraform. Oh, if I can spell. This is going to be a day of bad spelling.
Yay.
There we go. I have Terraform 1.5. I think when I was looking at the docs, anything above 11 works. But there is the way I'm running it is a new way of running Terraform. So there is a point where old Terraform doesn't work anymore. Those are the two things you need to set up. The last thing that is worth the last thing you need to do before you run Terraform is we need to tell Terraform to point to our file location, not go out to the cloud and pull down the latest Terraform provider. So we have this TFRC file. There is a way of doing it within the Terraform RC file you can put in your user directory. That wasn't working for me on Windows. So I'm now specifying it here in the same directory, and there is a environment variable called tfcli config file, which if you point to the file, it'll read that when you run Terraform apply, and it'll pull this code instead of, it'll pull the local code for this instead of going out to the registry. So if I run Terraform apply here, you will see here the following provided development override saying CLI configuration, and it's saying where it's found it. This is your Go bin. If you go through the guide on how to set this up, it tells you what this needs to be and how you find it. And that is the environment setup. I have two WSL terminals just because I need to install run go install to build the provider, which is the right terminal, and then I need to run Terraform apply, which is the left terminal. They're in different file paths. So instead of CDing up and down file paths every 2 seconds, I've just made two terminals. And hopefully that's not going to cause issues. So the basics of a Terraform provider. There is a main file. It has the Terraform address. Other than that, you don't need to worry about this file. It does things. I'm sure complicated people can do crazy things, but it doesn't matter. The main thing it does is it calls this provider file. This does a lot. The way Terraform works is through using Go interfaces. So I have a Discord provider which implements the provider interface, which all it means is it has these functions that the provider interface needs, which means that in the main.go, it can just go serve my provider. And that is all you need to know about how all this stuff works. The rest of it is Go stuff that does not matter. But as long as the structure that you're trying to call has the methods that Terraform is expecting. It just works.
So I do have a question. Because we
Yes.
are not creating a brand new provider. We are
Yes.
actually trying to extend on the current provider that's currently out there.
No, I'm creating a new one.
Okay, so it will be a brand new one then.
Yeah.
But then the features that the old one already has, how would you then migrate that over? Or would
We
you
won't.
we won't be
I will-
using that feature then?
No. We'll be vaguely basing on the stuff the other one did, because we want to be able to create the same sort of stuff.
Mhm.
But I'm not going to go into their code and see how they've done it. I'm just going to start from scratch.
Okay.
For no other reason than it's a fun exercise, and I kind of like being able to think through these things. I have not really been able to dig my teeth into code for a while, so why not?
Fair.
So yeah, provider, there are tests. At some point, we'll get into go testing. I don't think I'm going to write any tests today, but there are tests. Within the...
To know that the GitHub action is failing.
Yes, because there are... So the GitHub action was failing because there was example resources that were named incorrectly. So I have removed them because it was red and it was annoying, and they actually have no value for me because I can just get them from GitHub. So that's fine. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But for now, my proof of work is running Terraform apply and seeing output. Terraform tests need a live environment, so it's quite awkward to do Terraform tests on something like Discord. Yes, so right. So the things that matter about the provider. So we have a structure that is the model. This needs to match the schema. The schema is what Terraform sees. So this is when you go in and create your provider, which if I go into my examples. So when I go into the right the provider block, these are the options. So I could, if I wanted to, specify the authentication token as a value in the provider. I'm not doing that because I've added the ability to put a environment variable in, so I don't have to show you guys my secret. And then, yeah, so that's the schema. There's the config block, which is what's run to configure the client, to configure the provider. And this is where it gets the environment variable I've set up. Does some checks to make sure that it has been set, if not throws error messages. It creates a new client for Discord and then stores that in a object that the resources and data structs that we care about later can access. And the two other things that matter are we have a list of data sources and a list of resources. So here we have data source, and then the same would have a list of resources. And these need to be have the right functions to be seen as the correct to interface the correct thing, be an interface of the same correct thing, which is this one is data source, this one is resource.
So the schema is for mapping the item to Terraform. So the APIs, you don't really.
Yes.
Do you necessarily care about the schema of the API that you're consuming, or
no? So this is a Terraform thing, and then this is where I create the client. So if I didn't have a client, this is where I could be like curl this URL and here's the username and password and give me the session token, which essentially is what this is doing.
Yeah.
And there is going to be a lot of like a mass of code with a small little line that actually does the work, because you want good debugging, get out handling.
I prefer just random luck and hope for the best.
This isn't particularly good at logging. I think the logging is better than it used to be. But if it's not if it doesn't go out in this diagnostics, it doesn't show to the log. So it's just kind of got to be careful about how we actually like see if anything goes wrong. So the way I tested this is a very simple resource. I just wanted to get the server. So this is just getting the server data for the server we're creating. So the information, so obviously servers have a lot of information. All I'm caring about at the moment is server ID, server name, server description. So this is the kind of Terraform structure. And then, I should probably close Steam so people don't see if people play games. And then again, we got a configure block. So this is just setting up the client. So this gets the client. So when you run this resource, it just gets the client information and saves it in D, which is the kind of resource context that we can mess with. We then have read, which is reading the code, reading the API. So when you run Terraform plan, this is the code that gets run to see if the what the state on the endpoint is. So this is what we'll go out to Discord and go, what does this look like? So we're setting, I don't really like that, something like that. So we're creating the model that holds the information. So this is this, which has the ID, name, and description. And then we are getting the information from Terraform and loading it into that data object. We can then get the value name. Wow, I've done that badly. So this is how you get the name or the ID of the server. So it's going data.id.value string. So data is this model that gets set from Terraform, and then we're getting the string value from it, and then we're passing it into the client, which gets us the Discord information. Yeah, everyone's happy?
Yep.
I don't know why they're called guilds. For whatever reason, Discord terminology in the back end is servers guilds. I vaguely understand why, but it's called guilds in the docs, that in the Discord Go docs, which is why I'm calling guilds here. And then I set the description and name from the data block to the response from the API. And then I put it in the state file, which is what this append does. Oh, sorry, what this state set does is the opposite of this line. And this bit is just if there are errors, add error. And that's it. That's a very basic how it reads from the server. The other things that I didn't mention are these two are computed. So it means the users can't set them in Terraform. They're just read access. So these are the attributes that you can read. Now we've done all that. Should we create something? What would you guys like to create?
Could we create a channel?
Let's create channel. So
What
let's
comes
go.
first, a category or channel?
I think you can make a channel without a category. Let's create a channel and see what happens. So this is going to be channel. How do you spell channel? Yeah. And then this is a resource.
Oh. So you have to do the same for data as well then?
Yep, there's going to be a channel underscore data underscore source.go.
Wow.
Yep.
Hopefully that'll be copy and paste.
Yeah, most of it is just copy and paste the read block. We're changing the way the data block is. Oh, that's the wrong. So I'm just going into the handler and copying a example resource. So I have the base content because, as you'll probably see in a moment, there's a lot.
It should look nice and productive if you can write 200 lines of code without actually doing anything.
Oh yeah, and I just make sure that we named it correctly. So we now need to go through this and just kind of anytime it says example resource, this is channel resource.
Wouldn't you want to do that in the replace part?
Oh yeah. Keep doing this for some reason. Uh,
20.
Yeah, I'm just gonna quickly like scan through to make sure everything's happy. I think it will be.
Sorry, I missed the part where you got the. Where did you get this from again?
Just the example within the.
Oh, okay.
Within the framework, there's an example resource. I just copied that.
All right, cool.
And then I just found a place example with channel, and then within the provider block, I want to create a resource. There we go. Resource created. Now let's actually make it do something. So this would work now. Obviously, it's not useful. So what I next need to do.
So when you said it will work now, what exactly would work?
I could go into Terraform and create a channel resource.
Which would just be an entry in the state file at this point, I'm assuming, and nothing else.
With this information, which is not probably what I need. So the things I don't know is how this tool handles the code. So what I'm going to probably start doing is start writing the read code to get the channel and then go about building the schema when I know actually like what information it needs and how we can mess with it.
Oh,
so
okay.
This has a couple of extra functions. Let's minimize these and actually them. So what? That's I don't know what that's.
It's a great opportunity to initialize any necessary arrays.
Okay, so this has a few more functionality than just the data block, because we've got create, read, update, delete, import state. Luckily, import state is just that. You don't have to worry about it. Import state works. It's unless you want to do some really weird things, but import state just works.
Wait, would that also automatically work with that import stanza thing that we did there? Okay, cool.
Yeah, by default, import state works unless you're doing like weird matching, like probably Vault has to do, because Vault's weird. But yeah,
if you have APIs that have multiple potential correct formats, you'd handle it inside that import state block, where it would map whatever format you receive it in to the format you expect it in the state file. Because if you don't, you'll get recreation errors. But most of the time, most sensible things only have one way that you can correctly define something, and you get the API call back from that. So most of the time, you don't have to worry about that.
So things we need to make sure. So this is what gets the client. So we just have to go from the provider data, load the correct client, and then within the resource, I just need to make sure this is the correct client. This is how the client is passed around from the provider into the other parts. And if you wanted to pass other information around, you could. We hopefully won't need to. And then within the create block, so we read the plan, we get the plan, and then we get the string value of the ID equals string value of, I don't know what it's called, example ID. Oh, it doesn't actually get the value from, why is it? It creates a string value. It doesn't actually get the string value from the plan. So that's fine. I just want to do this in the read. If I get the data ID, channel ID equals that. And then r dot client dot it's client. Okay, so I should be able to go channel. I'm creating a channel actually. I think there was a create channel option. Edit, channel delete, channel message. As you can see, there's all these fun things.
That's create, right? Channel create. Is that what you're looking for?
That was a state. Or channel out.
No, I saw
guilds. Oh, guild channel. Yeah. So this is the first one of the first things. We're not passing this guild ID around. So creating a channel in the given guild ID. So what we need to do is while we are creating a channel and storing a channel somewhere, we're not storing. Oh, yeah. So this needs a channel ID and a guild ID, and they get passed around through Terraform. Guild ID. Data dot guild ID dot value string, and I want to change ID to channel ID. And then you needed, was it guild ID, comma channel ID?
Yeah.
Does line 103 also not need brackets?
Oh yeah. Good spot. Guild ID, comma
Guild ID name string.
What's that?
It's a guild ID name string.
This guild ID. Oh, the name of the channel.
It won't. I assume it gets given the ID when it's on creation.
That is probably true. Channel name. Yes, which means actually the ID we will probably set data dot ID.
Do we have to give it the type of ID it's supposed to be, or Terraform knows what to give it?
ID is a string.
Okay.
Channel type.
Oh, yeah.
What do you want? Guild.
ID, channel name.
Channel what? We don't want any of these, do we?
Didn't think so.
No. And
Channel
those are the
type, DM, group DM. Creates a new channel with a given guild ID, guild name, type of channel. Is there any examples within this code of how we can create a channel easier? This is one of those fun things where it's like, it's not that complicated to do. It's just working out how things work. I mean, I'm just going to go group DM, like whatever. That can pretty easily get changed.
What does that mean now? Why did you need those 3 inputs, by the way?
Why did I give it those 2 inputs?
3 inputs, yeah, the guild ID, channel name, all that.
Because it wants, if you see here, it wants 3.
Okay, I thought 1, 2. Okay.
And then options can be any amount.
All right, cool.
Need to add our. And add our wants string summary, string details. Our dot our, which is a string, and then I want our creating channel. That's happy, and then date.id equals res dot id. But that needs to be a value string, which is that one. Okay. And then I want to go data.channel name. So within this block, I need a U for channel name, U for guild ID, channel name, guild ID. Obviously, there is some information we need. It needs to be required. Okay. Hopefully, that will now work.
We won't have to add anything with the URLs. What are they for, anyways?
What are what for?
If we go back up, yeah.
These.
Oh, yeah.
These are all the Go packages we're installing. Sorry, Go libraries we're using.
Okay.
For the channel type, maybe can I suggest maybe giving it an ID, just giving it 0 instead of the group DM, because that'll just create a text channel.
Or
So
0.
Yeah, 0 is a text channel. Whereas that is group DM, which is direct message between multiple users, which is converts to an ID of 3 apparently. Yeah, there we go.
So yeah, okay, guild text. So it just wasn't giving me all the options. So yeah, this is channel type, and these are the consts that are in it. So
there's one missing. Apparently, guild media would be a type 16.
So these are the things where this hasn't got as much as Discord has. So I don't know what a media channel is.
Channel that only contains threads similar to a guild forum channel.
Yes, so very new content. Maybe we can do a PR in to add 16 if we want to. So yeah, so now that works. So we can give it the correct thing. We just had to go and find what the struct was. So now, let's see what happens. So if I go into my test provider thing, I'm actually just going to run Go in it first. Go install first. So this is compiling the Go code. That is the Go code compiled. And then I need a resource. I need Discord underscore channel. This is going to be, I just need to pick a name we've not thought of before. Just call it general.
Sure, it should be subscribe.
Sure. I'll be that person. And then this has a guild ID of data dot obviously I have the full ID here. I can just copy and paste that full ID. And then it was just name we called it, or was it?
I think it was just name, or channel name.
I think I called it channel name. I don't know if I care about calling it channel name. Let's just call it name. All right, so I'm going to call it name in Terraform and channel name in my code. So it's more explicit in the code what it's doing, but in Terraform, you just want to call it name.
And I think that's how it's done in most of the other stuff providers anyways.
Maybe I haven't.
They just do name.
Yeah.
So.
And then if I go Terraform apply.
Oh.
Does not support Discord channel. So I'm just going to triple check this is set up correctly. New channel resource needs to be in my provider.go is go install not set up. Slash root slash go slash bin slash. Oh, I misspelled Terraform at one point. Go install dot. Everyone's weird things because it already exists. It doesn't recreate. Nope. Does not support Discord channel. Why don't you support Discord channel? Oh, wait. One thing I missed. This is what calls it its name. So this needs to be channel. So it's provider name underscore resource. So it needs to be channel. So if I'd called it Discord underscore example, it would have worked.
Oh yeah, because we did replace everything to do with example.
Yeah, I changed example resource, not just example. So there we go. So that is wanting to create a channel with guild ID, ID, and name. And we messed with the create block, if I remember correctly. None of the other ones. It's going to get weird. But if I go, yes.
Oh.
The unspecified error found trying to convert type F values into provider channel resource model. Object find field not found, instruct guild ID and name.
Oh. Is it because you renamed the name part? Maybe it needs to be renamed everywhere else as well?
Maybe. I mean, might as well. Name. Name is value string. Yeah, okay.
Do you not have to rebuild?
Yes. This one's building. This one's running.
Yeah. Sorry. Maybe I missed that then. I don't know. On my screen, it's weird.
Oh, I mean, it is very quick. Type values into provider channel resource model. Mismatch between struct and object. Object find field not found in struct. Why
can't I find both of those?
So I wonder if it's because I haven't messed with these things yet.
What do you think it's trying to read? Will it have made the API calls to make the channel?
Well, it doesn't look like it has. Just don't. So I'm just actually. So these look like all they're doing is actually just reading in the state and closing the state. They're not actually doing any work. So these actually don't matter too much. Error when encountered trying to convert type f's dot values into provider channel resource model. String. Don't know what's actually triggering that. Joys of providers. So it's probably one of these, would be my guess. It's like the append block or the read block, like the get or the read. So it's probably this. It's probably this which is erroring, because this then returns. So that just wants this static thing. So if I'm just going to test something. I think it's this which is erroring because it's something is not liking the fields not found in struct.
I literally just found something that says that as well. The append part might be.
Yeah, so that now says test. But doesn't say the rest of it. Oh yeah, object not found in struct. So it is this get is erroring because it is failing to load things correctly. So guild ID, name are both required. Object defines field not found in struct. Object defines not defined in struct. So this is the struct that I'm using. Channel resource model. Should be, so this is saying that the object defines fields not found in struct. So this is saying this object isn't defining guild ID and name, but they're here. Does the order probably matters, doesn't it? It shouldn't matter.
Terraform itself never cares about the order, but have a read at this maybe. No, how do you send this? What is that? Please send.
Oh, so this one's, yeah, I'm doing that. I'm doing type string.
Also, you're doing exactly how the example. Okay.
Yeah, because it's saying you want to be using type string instead of the Go.
All right. Cool.
I'm just gonna. I don't know if how easily it deletes everything every time, so I'm just gonna do this.
That makes sense.
You're going to alias your Go install to wipe and then install.
Okay, it doesn't work. That's fine. Although it finds fields not found instruct. Channel provider channel resource model. Wait. Channel resource model. Why are you provider.channel resource model? So this is saying cannot convert types value into. But
It's the
it should
Discord channel type guild text, an int where it's expecting a string.
No, you've got string, three strings, 3 strings. I don't know why it's saying provider dot. Like it's weird that it thinks this is part of the provider. Resource dot resource. Channel resource. Channel resource. Channel resource. Client. Metadata.
Is there a way to get it to spit out what fields are in that struct, in the logs?
Yes. If I go you and let's go CPX. I don't think this is going to do anything, but hopefully this will output something. My Go string manipulation is good enough. Nope, didn't output anything.
And the debug, do you think debug will give us more output?
Oh, I didn't know on location. What debug mode?
Yeah, because you are running Terraform, so
maybe
it's worth a try after this. Oh,
perfect. Okay, so this is the background context, and this is the string. Annoyingly, typed in the wrong one, but it looks like it's not. No, it's not passing stuff through correctly, which is what we expected. With value, with value, with value. Right, I'm just going to do one more thing. This is, oh, I didn't actually do any. This may be more useful than what you did. Okay. Wow, it really doesn't like that. Vault state equals 0. Attribute vault state.
Value.
So this is oops. This is name ID isn't happy, and then this one is just isn't happy itself. Oh yeah, no, context isn't something I can output. I could output barbecue. So the data isn't being loaded correctly. I don't really know what to think about how to like. Okay. Not only I haven't got any keys, but this is what gets outputted. Oh, guild ID. So this is the plan. Guild ID name. So that's what it's expecting. Which is what I'm typing, what I'm passing through, isn't it? Name. Guild ID. And this string is name guild ID. Oh, bah.
No, really?
Yes. And when this works, I'll explain why it matters.
Nah.
Oh, I should delete all this massive things. This shows that I haven't touched Go in a while.
I am intrigued.
This like class setting should be capitals.
Camel case in this case.
No, the camel case doesn't matter. It's the first letter needs to be capital. Within programming, there's a big thing about is something public, private, or protected, and about what things can access it based on that information. In Go, the way you tell something to be public is a capital letter at the start. So while this was set, only the resource class model could access those two, and nothing we're touching is within that class. They're all within the channel resource class.
You don't do something like what you do in Java, where you'd build out functions to return the private.
No. That is a waste of code. So now, hopefully, if I go into Discord, there's a nice something that we didn't. So, oh yeah, it has worked. So if I pull this over, we now have a nice subscribe channel. And when I now go back into here and go, oh, let's run Terraform again, which actually I think will work, because everything else doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The state doesn't update from the actual infrastructure. It'll go, yeah.
And what my question is, what happens when you add an S to it? Do you not have to go do the change stuff yourself, or it will know to handle that as well?
Change what, like changing state?
Yeah.
Read it.
Too soon to fail.
Oh, the state wants to change.
Okay.
Oh, it says it updated. Nothing happened. There is currently no code which does anything about that. So it was like, I have read the state file, and the state file has a difference, so it needs to change.
But at least he knew that. He knew that there's a change needed.
Yes. So within the resource, when I do the read block, so it reads the state and then sets the state again. The way to specify, so if this state set is different than what is in the TF state file, it will then want to change, I think. Or is that an update?
For the update. That's for the
no,
update.
It's when the update is different. It's when this update, when this plan is different, then it wants to. No, I think it is the read. When the read is different, but this just gets the state and sets the state. So this read needs to be now similar to the data read. I can see the time. Do we want to leave on this cliffhanger of we've got something created but nothing else? Or do we want to go a little longer? I don't mind too much.
I'm happy to do a little bit more. I mean, what will be the next? What will be the next part?
Read.
All right, let's do the read then.
So read, update, delete.
Read, update, delete. So luckily I can copy this, the majority of this read. Well, kind of. So it's interesting, when I was doing it before, it would actually have at the end of create and the end of update, you call read. So actually you set all of the information within read, which is quite an interesting way of doing things. I'm going to.
I guess, does this know if it's created the resource, or how does this know it's created the resource sets for this? Is it just looking for 200 code from the call it makes, or the client just not throwing an error?
Yeah, not for it's these diagnostics. As long as this diagnostics is empty, it's happy. Which is why they're everywhere. This needs to be r.clients.channel. Interesting. This doesn't require a build ID; it just requires a channel ID. And then I go. Wait, was it data? Data dot name equals channel dot name. So I'm massively oversimplifying what this can do. And this may be one of these, if we want some time between sessions of cleaning up, improving this a little bit. So this is I think this is the debug stuff that you were talking about, Wale. You can do TF log.
Trace logs.
And then trace logs. And so that's probably something that's worth doing to debug. So that adds the name and then sets the state. So this should let read work. And then what I'm actually going to do here is go, because you just return a response, don't you? Oh, read doesn't return anything. Okay, no, so I can do read etx, comma, resp. I can go r.read Oh, they're different requests. They've changed that. The way you used to do it was like chain them, but I think they've probably made it a little bit better than how it used to be. Yeah, so I'm just gonna reading the channel name. Is there an update channel, I wonder? Channel edit. Oh, the Alex actually quite complicated. Channel string data is a channel edit, and then options. Channel edit. This is everything you can do within channel.
Oh, wow.
But what you can do is change its name. To be at. This is a pointer. If you care about pointers, go look them up. We're in overtime. I'm not going to explain pointers. Not going to worry about channel. Okay, I've made an edit and a delete. Let's see. What happens? Made a read and a edit. Let's see if I can rename the channel. This is currently with. Well, it's probably going to want to update it because of what we did. Okay. Infrastructure is correct, which I think means the read's correct because it's not wanting to edit anything. So now if I go into the main and let's do S. This will hopefully see there's an edit. Oh, look, yep, there's an edit. Yes.
But you saw that early on as well.
Did.
There's now this code to change things.
So if you look, it is changed. There's now a glorious S. That's probably very small.
Yeah, we can just say it.
There's an S. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it back. Hard code, naughty. So now that is different to the state file.
Yeah.
And then if I run this again, fingers crossed, if it sees the change.
Yeah.
Suppose is there a channel delete, do you reckon?
Yes. Well, there's definitely a delete API endpoint.
All right. Let us see the change.
Oh,
Not trust
there you
it.
go. It's back to an S.
No, it's not that. I don't trust. I just wanted to make sure.
Though actually, I do want it to be. I think it'd be better for that S. Luckily, providers, as soon as you're like there, it's really quick. It's just getting it to the point where it works. Okay.
That's wild. So
and obviously, if we want to get more information, it's just a lot of places we need to edit it.
So now that means category, everything else would just be a matter of copy and paste in a way.
And changing the stanzas.
That's wild.
I think that's what I want. And obviously improving it. Like this code is being written in an hour, let's say. And I need to
I think something's gone wrong with your update.
Oh yeah.
That.
It's still
modify.
It's trying.
Wait, all you did was put it back, change the S in it, remove the S. Still modify. Wow, time is a lot.
Oh, right, it still returns the channel. Okay, let's stop you down.
We didn't change the code, so it should have still be the same.
But it depends how it talks about them.
Yeah, no.
So within the state,
Subscribe.
We have subscribe ID. So that is the correct ID. So it just isn't, it's just struggling to hit the API.
I think still modifying. So if we were to enable debug now, do you think we'll get a bit more? Because we don't know exactly what it's trying to do in the background other than
so this is within so my guess is within this channel edit, it's looping. So this hasn't returned yet.
Okay.
So weird that it's not. Oh well. I'm gonna reinstall because I've now added delete, and then try the plugin.
Yay.
It's really interesting. It's not instant anymore.
Yeah. Barnaby, in case you care about what pointers are, the pointer holds the memory address of a value. You're welcome.
Thank you. I knew that already, but
and what does that mean, Wale?
What does that mean? That's for next time.
what memory addresses?
As I said, that's for next time.
You're putting up all the cliffhangers.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just destroying it.
Assuming that
if it doesn't work, I'm assuming there's something. Yeah, there we go. So that's destroyed.
Wait, destroy what? Well,
Destroy
then the
what?
update. There's something wrong with the update.
Yeah, I don't know what the update. The update was going weird. It's probably a way that the client is working that the edit was being weird. And that is the problem if you're building a Terraform provider is how do you make it work 100% of the time, every time? And debugging that stuff, which maybe when we come back to this again, we can look into a bit.
Trace logs, all the fun.
Yeah, and going a little bit more into the Terraform, the Go provider, and seeing if we can get the logs out from that as well.
All right then.
I guess this is probably a good place to start. Thank you everyone for watching. Feel free to follow us on Twitch, like and subscribe on YouTube, and the rest of the things to push us up the algorithm, all those sorts of fun and games. But hopefully we'll kind of get a bit further on this. It looks like it's going to be an interesting project. We should probably go read up some Go knowledge so actually can understand a little bit better what you're doing when looking at, but we'll have to wait and see. But I guess
we'll learn Go together.
We can all learn Go together. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next week.
Bye.
Bye.